All right, bright learners, buckle up. Today, we're diving into one of the most explosive interviews I've seen in years. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury under the late President Ronald Reagan, just sat down with Mike Adams on BrightLearn.com, and folks, they dropped truth bombs about Israel, Ukraine, and the colossal mistakes of U.S. foreign policy. This is not your mainstream media narrative. Let's break it down. First up, Israel and Hamas. Roberts drops a jaw-dropper. He believes the U.S. State Department and Joe Biden administration orchestrated the Hamas invasion as a false flag. Why? To give Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a pretext to erase Palestine and dodge his legal troubles. Think about it. Netanyahu's government is a minority coalition, and he's facing indictments. Suddenly, he's a war hero bombing Gaza. But the plan backfired. The global outcry over civilian deaths shocked even the neocons. Roberts says Russian President Vladimir Putin warned Iran and Hezbollah not to take the bait, avoiding a wider war. Meanwhile, former Israeli officials are now calling Netanyahu insane for endangering Israel's survival. Now, connect the dots. The U.S. is pulling the same playbook in Ukraine, using it as a proxy to provoke Russia. Remember when Victoria Nuland bragged about spending $5 billion to destabilize Ukraine? Roberts says the 2014 coup was meant to pressure Putin, but Russia saw through it. Fast forward to today. Ukraine's army is collapsing, while Russia's economy and weapons production are booming thanks to sanctions. Yes, sanctions strengthened Russia by forcing self-reliance. Here's the kicker. The West's overconfidence is a disaster. NATO, out of ammo. America's military, recruitment crises. Meanwhile, Russia's hypersonic missiles and China's naval expansion leave the U.S. clinging to nukes as its last resort. Roberts warns, the neocons misread Putin's restraint as weakness, pushing us toward nuclear brinkmanship. And the economic time bomb? The petrodollar's collapse. Saudi Arabia accepting yuan, BRICS ditching the dollar. Roberts says this is game over for U.S. hegemony. Once the dollar loses reserve status, inflation will skyrocket overnight. Why? Because the world won't fund our debt anymore. But here's the darkest twist. Roberts reveals that Europe's leaders are U.S. puppets. Biden blew up Nord Stream, and Germany's chancellor just stood there. Why? Because, as Roberts' Pentagon mentor confessed, we own them. CIA bribes, controlled media, Europe's economies are being sacrificed for U.S. interests. Final thought. This isn't about America versus the world. It's about private interests hijacking government. The military-industrial complex, Big Pharma, the Israel lobby, they pull the strings while the public pays the price. So, what's the solution? Roberts says decentralized information is key. Platforms like BrightLearn and Rumble bypass censors, but the fight's just starting. Bright learners, this is chess, not checkers. Share this everywhere. The truth is the ultimate weapon. See you next time.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Paul Craig Roberts and Mike Adams on December 1st, 2023. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.